All right, guys, it's been a while, and want to get started off by talking about Vegas a little bit, on what I've heard, what I saw, and kind of, this is a makeshift, actually, what we were moving. You guys saw the old Facebook Live. We've been moving all the stuff in the back. This is actually a it's a BRBO at Port Aransas. We came down here to relax over the weekend and get away. We've been moving for 2 months. Not only moving my son into an apartment because he's starting college, getting all of his stuff out of the house. We're no longer in that house that you guys used to see. We're in another house, and I've got an area that I'm going to set up, smaller area, that I'm going to set up over there and kind of have a backdrop. This is actually this is the bedroom. This is the bed over there. It's got a kitchenette here. My wife loves the water, so she's actually out by the pool right now. We've got family down here, kind of a little vacation. This is basically, getting back started and not having any delays on what I'm doing, because this is a big success for our guys. They'll chime in here in a minute, but my guys and what we've been trying to do, and I think it's finally catching on. What I'd like to do, and I kind of talked to a couple of people that I went on podcast, and they asked me, how far do you want to take this? And I want to be different than a lot of other podcasts out there that I see, and I think I've set that tone early when, especially talking about bats, on how far do I want to take this podcast and talk about different things with different players out there and get a lot of information out there, because it's basically not about your major plus players. Although when I was in Vegas, I talked to a few of you guys, JKI, that was out there playing on that team. Congratulations for winning that tournament. And Chucky and Legacy for winning a 60 major plus. JKI for winning a major plus on the 55s. I was talking to those guys, and it kind of like, I went over there and started talking to them, and I was pleasantly surprised on a few of those guys that are jumping on board with the bat scaling. One guy pulled out a phone and showed it to me about how he does his scaling. He's got his numbers, how good he hits the ball with his numbers. I think it's a trend that's starting to take off, that where a lot of you guys that are out there doing this should have numbers on the best bat that performs very well for you. And I said this in the last podcast, and I want to talk about it in this one too, is everybody has a number. It's all about formulas. And I said this a long time ago, whenever you guys were on my website, on the front page, I don't have it there no more, on the front page of my website, it said it's not what fits your swing, it's about a formula, and about softness of the barrel, balance points, handle flex. A lot of guys out there, that's how far deep we're getting into this, and when I'm talking about it, that's basically what I'm trying to put into you guys, because back in the day, it was so many guys out there that would talk about, this is the best bat ever made. And they didn't talk about this is the best bat, depending on your swing, or anything. So I would grow up listening to all this, and knowing, the best bat for me, and going after that bat. And this is just trial and error of just finding out all of this stuff. Guys, I have a YouTube channel, 8,000 subscribers. I want to get to 10,000. Go over there and subscribe. A lot of information on there. I have a membership channel over there too. I'm going to, I have 2 bat giveaways I'm doing this week. One's a brand new one, because I always do them at the beginning of the month. One's a brand new one, the other one's a used one. I think it's going to be a Johnny Bailey 27 ounce. Another thing too, I got you guys' attention here, and I'm going to kind of go through this a little bit, is I want to talk about these Johnny Baileys and what's happening to them. And I don't have one there. I've got a lot of bats, and you know what happens. I usually talk about the bats at the end, but I just want to jump on into this. what's happening to these Mikens, this is the Johnny Bailey. I have not seen one happen to a big cat or a Mike deal. Usually what happens with these bats are right across this bottom, they'll get a seam that runs just like this. And a lot of guys, what happens is when you miss hit and you hit it next to that seam, you're going to crack it right in this area. So a lot of guys are having trouble with these bats cracking right in this area. I'm saying a lot, but I only seen like 3, and you know, they did sell a lot of these bats. So 3 compared to how many they sold, I don't freaking know. You know, you got to go by those numbers. Just when you see 2 or 3 guys get on Facebook and they start saying, I cracked mine and I cracked mine. Well, that's 3 out of how many? 1,000? You know, when the 10% breakage, there's always a 10% breakage in every bat that you buy. So did you get that one bat that's actually wooden, put together right? It was made on a machine and the guy didn't pay attention to the way he did the rosin, because it's usually the rosin that does that shit. So, or how he put it together. So a lot of these Bailey bats are getting that seam in it. To us, it does nothing to the performance. I actually still swing this bat. This is a 27 ounce. This is the one that I'm going to give away in that membership channel. And I usually give all of my leftover bats that are top tier bats to guys on that membership channel. So this is the one of the ones that I'm giving away on that membership channel. And guys, it still performs. We actually throw it out there and match it up against the new bats that are coming up to see if it can outperform this one. And we do that with the Wig Popper and the Proton and a couple other bats that are coming up that are I'm going to talk about in a minute that are really good. So they're getting cracks around. It does nothing to the performance because you're hitting it right here. You know, you're not hitting it down there. If you miss hit it down here, and it might crack on you, I don't know. But usually that seam is right around the bottom. And a lot of other people are talking about that seam. I've got 2 bats. It doesn't do anything to the performance. It doesn't wobble. It doesn't do any of that. From what I heard about Miken is they know the issue and they're addressing it. Now, what I'm going to do is after they address that issue, I'm going to get another couple Mikens and I'm going to get out there and start hitting them and see if they're the same as the ones that are, because these are very good bats, soft barrel bats. Does not implode. To this day, these bats are still not imploding on us. And this one's got about 800 swings. The 26 ounce got about 1,000 of us guys swinging it. So that's what I want to talk about. All them bats are going to be thrown over there. Facebook, guys, if I'm kind of tipped out on the Facebook, you need to join the channel or get a buddy of yours to join the channel because there's a lot of information I'm going to talk about. Like I said earlier about these podcasts, I'm going to start talking about things, especially on the membership channel. But a lot of guys want to talk to me about how far do you want to take this? And I want to take it, I said, I want to do shit that nobody else has done before. Talk about things for seniors, you know, for nutrition, for health, outside the box, basically. Talk about, you know, which I'm going to get into in a minute about shaving bats. Talk about that a little bit more, trying to bring it, always keep it. I want to keep the shaving bats always at the head because I just got back from Vegas and it was a lot, guys. It was a lot of shaving. You know, I don't talk about something was talked about the other day and I was copied in it, or they tagged me in it. And whenever, here's the deal too, you tag me in something, I'm always going to put it on a podcast. And the reason that I do that is because you're getting it from me. I'm not posting a lot of shit because I don't want it to be, I don't want it to be taken anywhere else than, because what happens when I heard Dave said this about this, well, no, you know, I'm going to do it where you guys can watch this and you guys can hear it. You guys can hear it. So what I want to do when I'm tagged on a question anywhere, I'm going to address it video because I don't do this he said shit, you know, because a lot of shit that I say can be taken out of context. So, and that's everywhere though. You guys look at shit and you can take it out of context. So you're hearing it from a horse's mouth. And one thing about what we don't do is we don't bullshit you. A lot of my guys that hit with me are the same way, you know. A lot of those guys they don't bullshit. They actually tell it the way it is, and they all think differently. That's why they're there. That's why they hit with me. It's no guy you know, they don't just go by what I say. They actually bounce shit off of me, or they'll ask me questions and shit like that. That's how come, you know, we have gotten this big, you know, and we have gotten huge. but I'm relaxed now. You know, we're going to start off a whole new year going up into next year. We've got 2 more tournaments. Actually, they're going to be, you know, that we're playing. I'll be in Florida. When is it? I'm looking, try to find it. Florida on the November 3rd through the 5th. Me and Charlie Mueller is going to be my old teammate, and we're going to go down there and play with a team out of Florida. And that's November 3rd. We'll be at, I'm going to try to talk to him on Thursday morning. Me and Charlie are going to go hit at Woodlawn Hitting Club like we did at the beginning of the year, what I did at the beginning of the year. You guys want to come out there and talk and bullshit, you know, just talk about bats, that's fine with me. I'm going to do Facebook Live there, and me and Charlie are going to probably do some hitting there. And then October 21st and 22nd, I will be at College Station playing with Demolition, a team I started well at the beginning of the year, and they brought on Charlie. He's going to play with us, and Charlie hits with us. Charlie Mueller, he's with Senior Softball Bat Review, so he's one of the guys. So October 21st, 22nd, we will be in College Station. November 3rd through the 5th, that Thursday morning, we will be at in Florida. We will be at Woodlawn Hitting Club. So that's my Florida trip, planning up. Wife's going to be with me, go down there and kind of relax too. But basically, we're all moved out. We are in a different format next week, just the background on this Facebook Live that I'm continue doing on Friday nights. I'm also on, you can join my channel, you Facebook guys, man. Just, you know, there's a lot of wealth of information. I'm going to get to talk to a bunch of other people out there, and, you know, that way we can spread the knowledge. And I do want to take it outside the box a little bit more, kind of dip my feet in the water a little, you know, at the beginning to see how it would go. And once it took off, I wanted to start talking about other things that other guys are doing to better their health. You know, and not only that, just talk about the whole bat shaving thing, the whole, everything that's going on, because, you know, I'll kind of drift into this is a lot of people talking, and I kind of want to go into something else too is, you know, I was tagged on this the other day, and I wanted to talk about it is, I was in Florida, I was in Vegas, and I did a couple of podcasts from up there, and I was talking about the bat shaving, and I do witness a lot, and guys, it's not only in Major Plus, it is in Major, and it's in AAA, and I kind of watched a couple of AA teams, and it was with them too, but not as much. I think your Major Plus is more, and from what I heard, women's too up there, and because what's you know, the women, I think, because of what they're doing, because a lot of the women actually don't know about this, and I wish they would jump on board. Yes, Patty, women's. A lot of women need to jump on board from what I'm doing, because what's happening to the women in senior softball is a lot of bats out there are made for the men, so the women grab them, and they're not made for that slow bat speed. So what they'll do is they need something that's hotter, because they're not going to collapse that wall with big mass on the end, so they'll start getting their bat shaved and get tremendous performance off of that, because they can shave the women's bats a little bit thinner than they do the men's, because they're not going to crack them, but they'll get great flex out of that barrel. And another thing too that they're doing to shave bats is Flex Seal. So the bat shaver will actually take your bat and shave it, and then he'll shoot Flex Seal in the middle of it, let it dry, put the cap back on it, and it actually holds up a lot of the, it keeps it from breaking as fast. So plus you're getting a little bit of a trampoline effect. So you'll get that better, a little bit, I think, a little bit better trampoline effect. And I was talking to somebody on the phone the other day, and they think so too, because I had to learn this information from somebody. So, you know, guys call me up, and I don't reveal any names, and I talk about this shit, and what happens when you shoot Flex Seal in it. I use Flex Seal. I got 5 cans of Flex Seal, because I work on a ranch too, and I use it on all my feeders and all my barrels and all that other stuff, you know. it secures, it seals, and it's damn good shit. So what they're doing with these bats, they're shooting Flex Seal. They shave them, shoot Flex Seal in the middle of them. Kind of holds up and get a little bit better trampoline effect. Durability lasts a little bit longer. So what's happening to the women out there is they're getting their bats done. Tremendous flex, because, and they're easier to detect because they're swinging a harder barrel bat and they're getting tremendous performance on it, and they shouldn't be. And it's making that sound. And guys, you can tell a lot of, I was talking to McGee the other day, and we were talking about, like, you can tell if you've been around softball for a long time, and a lot of the guys that doing R&D on bats can actually tell this shit too whenever they have people that are shaving. And it's gotten to be, really bad, because when I got back from Vegas, I was like, damn, man, this is not like I've been going to Vegas for 12 years, guys, 13 years. And it's getting worse, in my opinion. And the reason that I know so much is because I've swung those bats that they are being shaved, and they don't perform like that for me, or any of my guys. I don't see them getting that distance on a low tier bat. A top tier bat, I can't really tell, because it's a top tier bat for me. It's supposed to perform, so I really can't see much of that, But whenever they're swinging a low tier bat, that's built different, and they're easy bats to actually shave because of the way they're put together, and they hold up, last a lot longer. So yes, there is. And I go into another from that, it is a problem. I don't know what they're going to do about it. They're talking about compression testing, but you can beat, with a brand new shave bat, you can beat that compression test, and I don't think it has a lot to do with, compression. I don't think that's going to do anything, because they can beat that. They can beat that shit with a bat that has just been shaved. And what they do is they get it, they take it out and hit it a few times, or take it to the car and roll it. And, which I talked about this in the past. Rolling, I don't think does anything, but it doesn't increase the performance. It actually helps a lot of guys break the bat in faster. That's all it does, I think a lot of you guys up north, and I've said this in the video, a lot of you guys up north are at a disadvantage if you don't get your bats rolled, because it will never break in, especially if you're the guy with that 60, 50 mile, 40 mile an hour bat speed. It's not gonna do anything to you guys, man. It's, out there swinging, unless you do something to get that bat broken, or you have a kid out there that can actually swing that bat at 50, 60%, 75% swings, and then break it in for you and give it back to you. So rolling is, and I've tested this, guys, rolling is something that I agree. We don't, down here in Texas, we don't have to. We hit all the time. Florida, the guys are hitting all the time. California, the guys are hitting all the time. But when you guys get into that weather, and I talk to you guys about this shit, you guys hitting that weather, you're at a disadvantage, especially if you travel down south and start to play. Those guys' bats are well broke in, well seasoned, You can see stress fractures all in it. You're coming down with a bat that you think you put 200 swings on, to 150 swings on with that 50 mile an hour, 60 mile an hour bat speed, and it's doing nothing. It's not actually helping you out. But I was actually called out. I'm not called out. I was copied on on a text message about hands. This one person that I actually like, and he was talking about the ranking of bats. Like his team had won, 55s, and they won the 50s, and the 40s, and they won the 40s, and he was talking about the best bat manufacturer was the bats that they swing, and it's like when you're doing this, whenever in my position, or in Big Chef's position, or in Fat Guy BP's bat flip BP. I mean, Jesse has his BP hero shit. When you're in that position, a lot of people come out and say it's not the arrow, it's the Indian, And I kind of replied to the comment where everybody had been saying that for years, but the comment was that the bats that he's talking about are number one because his team won 2 different divisions in the Major Plus, and that was their sponsors. And I just replied, like, so now it's the arrow. It's not the Indian anymore. So which one? And you guys can talk to me about this, and I don't care. I mean, I'm just out here to do a service, and I'm just telling you what my top 10 bat is, or telling when I say me, I'm talking about all my guys, and I got to say that. But what's the top hard barrel bat? What's the top soft barrel, medium barrel bat, and the top soft barrel bat? Because it has gotten to where we have to distinguish because of bat speeds. I've been saying that for years. And kind of go into that. And I posted something on Facebook, and if you guys have saw it, about the banning of one guy gets popped with a bat, and I put the whole article up there, and somebody said this was last year's, but I wanted to prove a point where one person on the team gets busted with a shaved bat. His end cap came out, right, when he was swinging it. End cap rolls around and walk over there, and they look inside of it, it's been shaved. So they kicked him out, plus they kicked out everybody on the team. They actually banned, from what I can understand, is they banned everybody on that team and the coach for a year, I think, or 2 years or whatever. And I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense, because I guarantee you those guys did not know he was shaving a bat. I mean, there's people that there is a red flag that goes up whenever they're hitting the ball 20, 30 feet further than you with a bottom tier bat, or not even a top 10, and they're hitting the ball 20 foot further than you, and then you're putting into work, you're getting in the gym, you're eating the right things, and you're drinking the right things, water and supplements and stuff, and he's bombing you. It's like, and then you're like, damn, how's he getting that distance when I'm putting in twice the work? And then this guy gets busted, and everybody's punished for it, because I guarantee you not that many people on that team knew that this guy had a shaved bat. So why are they getting punished for that shit? Why are they having to, get kicked out? A lot of guys, there's a lot of guys that you guys have played. Listen to me. There's a lot of guys that you guys have played with that are swinging shaved shit, and you don't even know it. You just think that guy's hitting lasers everywhere, and then a lot of you guys, there's a red flag that probably came up, and there's somebody out there listening to this right now, or is going to be listening to this the next couple of days, where it said, yeah, I remember this guy's freaking hitting lasers like everywhere, and, but you don't want to get out there and accuse somebody, and you don't want to be that guy. I understand that. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the guy that's a dick, because I'll be the guy that, the Jose Canseco, where he's been blackballed from everywhere that he plays. He's the troublemaker everywhere that he goes. I don't want to be that guy. I still want to talk to people, and the rat. I don't want to be the rat. I just wish that's not my job, for one. It's the company's job, the sanctioned people. That's their job to take care of this shit. It's not, I can talk about some people that I know that actually do it, So what, there's people that, and going back to what I was talking about, there's people up there that you don't know the guy that's batting 10th or the guy that's batting first is what he's swinging. So why penalize those guys for doing that shit? And then you have the guy that comes out, and you got the guy that comes out and starts bragging about his bat manufacturer, his bat people, that's the best bat in the world. They produce some of the best bats in the world. Why am I even, doing this? Because you just got to look at who's won championships. You got to look at who's won championships, basically what he's saying. You just can't go by what I say. And I understand that. You got to look at everything. I don't want everybody to just believe everything that I say. Go listen to other people. Go listen to all them other guys I just mentioned a minute ago, and get some information. One guy shouldn't be in charge of all this shit. One guy shouldn't be running all this shit. It should be a group of people that you can go around and look and do some research yourself. Like I'm talking about the nutrition stuff. I'm going to give you a path to go down. I'm not going to take you up there and give it to you. I'm going to give you a path to do research on it. Same thing I'm doing with the bat reviews, that we do. We're giving you a path. go down that path, try it out. It's be better than what was happening 15 years ago when I started doing this, 14 years ago. There was no pathway. You know, I'm just giving you guys a pathway. You can go off the pathway, go another direction, that's fine. You know, your bat speed has everything to do with this. And basically what we're doing is then basically what the person was, he tagged me on it, was calling out, well, this was won championship after championship after championship. And I understand that, you know, but that's another thing that I want to talk about, or how far do I want to take this? How far do I want to go with this? Because in my opinion, that really doesn't mean much to me about you're sponsored by a bat company and you're winning championships, so that bat company should be the best bat out there that's ever made. Well, I think, and Bubba told me this because I talked to him about it the other day. Bubba told me this: you can take that team that won those championships and you can take any bat out of my top 10 and you can give them to them and they will still win the championship, because I think it's more players to get them there, because we're talking about major plus players. My biggest focus is on the AA and AAA guys, you know, to get the best product in their hands. My top 10 on each different speed group, like bat speed group, right? Soft barrels, like I talked about. I think if you took those teams that win all of these championships, you know, just not saying that one team, but if you take each team that won all these championships and you give any bat out of my top 10 and just have them pick from them. You know, you got a guy over here with 70-mile-an-hour bat speed, you give him a softer barrel bat, and then get a bat over here, guy over here with that 100-mile-an-hour bat speed, give him a harder barrel bat in my top 10, and they will still win the championship 9 times out of 10. You know, that's just, I'm just saying, you can't throw that out there. There's still got to be guys like Fat Guy BP. There's still got to be guys like Big Chef. There's still got to be, you know, there's still got to be, you know, BP Hero, Bat Flip BP. There's still got to be those guys out there that take those AA and those AAA, all those guys that play league ball, that do want to jump into tournament play. Where do they go to? Well, shit, I seen this team win a national championship. We're going to go use those bats. No, it doesn't fucking work that way. It doesn't. And I'll talk more about that later, because a lot of you guys listen to me, and I'm going to bring this out, and a lot of people are going to be pissed off. And I'm going to bring this out and tell you why it doesn't happen that way, why it doesn't go that way. And dude, I've been around this shit for a long time, longer than the 14 years. And I know what happens with big bat corporations. You know, I know what they do. And I've talked to you guys privately about what they do. So you really can't go by that. And I try to tell people, no, you can't look at that. You can't look at what they're doing. You gotta look at that. You gotta listen to other people. You gotta listen to these bat review guys. You gotta listen to them. So listen to what they have to say. And then use your better judgment, use common sense, and then go in that direction. That's how come I preach the 50-mile-an-hour, 60, 70, 100-mile-an-hour guys. That's how come I tell them all about that. If your bat speed's higher, a lot of guys text me and say, you know, what's the best, you know, I just started playing, what's the best bat for me? And I'll just ask them what their bat speed is. You know, are you athletic? How tall are you? So that comes because of leverage. It's the only thing I'm asking them that for. You know, me, I don't have a lot of leverage. I'm 5'9". You know how many guys came up to me in Florida, and when I stood up and talking to him, he goes, damn, I thought you were taller. You look tall on TV. You look tall on the YouTube channel. I'm like, nope, I'm 5'9", guys. That is it. I think I talked about a lot there, and I want to get in deeper on that, and I couldn't actually talk about it, and that's one of the things that I was copied on it, and I didn't want to talk about it too much there. I kind of thought that, I kind of think that I'll do maybe a membership channel video about it later and kind of talk about my opinion on it and what happens to those sponsored players, you know, later on. And I'm not saying this is not black and white, guys. There's a lot of gray area in what I talk about. It's not absolutes with me. You know, I'm talking about this can happen. And I think a lot of you guys freak out and go, do you hear what I said? I'm not talking about definite. I'm not talking about this. This happens to every fucking bat company out there. I'm just telling you the shit you have to watch out for that can happen. And guys, you know, get off path here is not recently, and the whole time I've been doing this, I've been shipped bats that people want reviews on, or bat companies want reviews on, that have been altered bats just to get a good review. And I can usually tell once I first started swinging it, because there's one thing they do is they go overboard. They tend to make them too hot. Or it's a blim, it's been kicked out. So I'll get those kicked out bats sent to me. And we can tell. You know, we've been doing this, me and Bubba. What's up? Me and Bubba can tell, Billy can tell, Blake. You know, the guys at Chino, all those guys that are hitting, they can tell, like, oh shit, this ain't what they're selling out on the store. To those guys out there, that's definitely a big difference. There is the sound too. So yeah, we can tell, and guys, it happens more often than you might think, you know. And what I usually do is kick them back to the guys and say, I'm not doing it. I'm not even talking about it. I'm not talking about Facebook Live. And since I've been doing this Facebook Live, it's like a fucking advertising center for a lot of bat companies out there. So I'll get shit on Friday mornings. I'll get shit on Thursday mornings, just so I can talk about it before we swing them. Oh, fuck, I'm not going to talk about it before I swing them. I'm going to actually, you know, I'm going to get out and want to see how it is, because they're talking about it's the best bat out there. Today I'll talk about a bat that's actually I just got in, because I've had two different guys that have bat review, you know, on YouTube that actually will actually, hey, you gotta test this bat out. You gotta see this bat, because this bat's pretty badass. And I'll talk about that bat in a minute. But the cheating that only happens on the cheating doesn't only happen out there in the major plus, the AAA, you know, with the shade bats. It happens here. You know, a lot of these guys that get these bats out there are not the bats that you're buying out of the store, guys. It's happened to me a handful of times, five, 6 times in the last 12 years. So a lot of people try to sneak shit in. One guy was selling his company and sent me a bat. I tested it and I sent it back to him. I said, I'm not testing this bat. You know why I'm not testing this bat? This bat's hotter than any bat I've ever swung. Sent him back to him, and he has his lawyer call me, because his lawyer was waiting on a review from me, you know, 6 years ago, because they're going to sell his company, and the review would actually help sell his company. I'm like, I'm not doing it. And this is why I'm not doing it. You know, okay, you know, still sold his company, big ass freaking, sold it to a big company actually. So he wanted a good review on it, because you'd be surprised what people do for money. That's the biggest thing. You'll be surprised what people do for fame. And that's another thing too. People will do damn near anything, guys, to get that MVP trophy, or they'll get that money in their pocket, or get that batting average up. And that's what I'm talking about when we talk about shaved bats, is people fucking kill their grandmother. And it's a shame. I know it's a shame, but that's what we have. That's what we live with. You know, just got to watch out for them. And I know a lot of these bat review guys that are out there, these pretty good guys out there that are doing this along with me. And they're actually watching out for you guys. That's how come you don't look at who's number one, or who's who's the best AAA, who's the best AA, you know, major plus. You don't look at that. You look at the guys out there that I just mentioned, Chef, you know, BP Hero, Bat Flip. You look at Fat Guys BP. You look at all those guys that are out there putting their time, their effort, you know, taking time out of their day to go supply you guys with, you know, information about a bat. Another thing too is, you know, I want to talk to you guys out there that do this, and not too many of the bat review guys do this. Whenever you're taking a brand new bat and you pull it out of the wrapper, I'm just going to throw this one up there. Let's say you take this bat. You guys heard about this bat. I know you have. You know, this bat is supposed to be fire. Something to do with monster. See if you guys can reply. Whoever's up there, they seen your name a minute ago. I'm not going to call your name out, but is this a monster bat, or is this a bat that's actually through monster? I don't know. Or a bat guy that got these bats made and he built them, but they're through Monster. Kind of explain that to me. I kind of read some shit on it the other day and I don't care because I just got the bat in and I want to test it because I hear this good things about this bat. So what they do is they'll sit there in front of you and they'll take it out of the wrapper and they'll pull it and they'll start hitting it. It doesn't make good video. Okay, that's what I wanted to. It's not a Monster bat. So what you guys are doing is you're peeling the tape off this, and I don't ever do this. You've never seen me do this. Maybe when I'm up here and I'll peel the tape off it, show you guys that I'm doing it right now. All right, that's who it's from. Anonymous Gloves, right? Doesn't make me, makes the bat. So when you peel the tape on it, every bat needs time. I don't give a shit if it's hot out of the wrapper or not. Every bat needs time to actually get some flexing in the barrel. So it makes your bat look like shit when you're up there hitting it. You're not hitting it as far as it would be if you got 200 swings on it. So quit doing that. You know, I've seen some videos in the last 2 months of guys got there, I'm pulling this one off the wrapper, tell you guys it hadn't been rolled or hadn't been shaved, and I'm out there going to hit it. It's not good for video because you're doing a break-in period. You guys notice that when I do my reviews, it's on prime, it's on seasoned barrels that have about 300-400 swings on them. That's when I do the review. I don't do it when the bat, like we'll hit spinners the first round, and I don't even swing the bat whenever it's brand new. I'm too old for that shit. My body's breaking down. So I actually will wait till the end, and then I'll get up there and put about 100 swings on it, my own swings. I'll put about 100, not at once, but I'll put my 100 swings on it and get up there and start swinging it. But don't peel the wrapper off them anymore. It just makes for bad video, and it makes your bat look like shit because you're not getting the distance. You're going to get an extra 20, 30 feet on the bat if you actually do it when it's got 300-400 swings on it. So quit doing that. I've seen a lot of you guys do that. And just quit. Quit. I want to just text you and go, just quit doing that shit. I'm not going to talk about that. I do want to talk about umpires in Vegas, though. And I do think it's a money issue. I don't want to talk about how bad they were, how good they were. I think there's a lot of great umpires out there. This is what I'm talking about. I want to talk about that gray area with a lot of you guys out there. And I don't deal with absolutes. I really don't. There's a lot of gray area when I talk. I think the umpire issue can be fixed with more money. And them guys going through an umpire class with SSUSA or SPA, depending on what division they're in, USSSA, and tell them how the fucking rules are. This is what we do. This is what we do here. You're not going to jump to another sanction and carry those rules with you because it's a different sanction. Like the U-Trip's not going to go into what happened was a lot of U-Trip umpires with kids ball would jump on into SSUSA and think it's the same thing. Well, no, it's not. It's not the same thing. So they need to address that issue, and they need to know the rules. One thing I got, even tournament directors in SSUSA didn't know the rules. I knew more rules, but then again, I keep up on that shit because what I do, if I'm questioning on them, I can give you guys an answer. So I think pay is one of the biggest ones. I agree 100%. Talking about umpires and worlds, I remember back in the day, they would run them up until the last day and with one umpire, and then the last day, they would actually have two. I don't even think they do it now unless it's the last game. And then they do it. Any little way, guys, and this is the bottom line, I'm going to tell you guys, any little way that they could do to save money across the board or make a little bit of money, you know, cut costs, generate revenue. That's the name of the game. I learned that shit a long time ago. How do you cut costs, generate more revenue? Charge more money, generate more revenue. You cut costs. You cut down the costs. Any little way that they can actually get you, they're gonna fucking get you. So the umpires, there is a lot, guys, listen to me when I say this. There is a lot of great umpires out there. I'm just telling you, there's these few umpires get everybody a bad name. You know, it's gotten, and the worst thing I hate about umpire, I really do. A guy that doesn't put in the work, you know, and doesn't get out there and he's just doing shit to do shit. Angel Hernandez, you guys see all that shit? You baseball fans out there, you hear me? You guys see all that shit, what happened to him on what he was doing? It's almost like he has a fucking chip on his shoulder, like he doesn't like people and he picks out. So he's biased toward people he doesn't like and he takes it out on them. NBA did the same thing too, years of playing the NBA. That little umpire, freaking hated Tim Duncan. He would get on Tim, kick him out of games just because Tim looking at him or laughing at him, you know, or just clapping his hands. You're gone, Tim. God, what was his name? Little bitty guy, bald-headed, running up and down the court. Actually a good umpire back in the day, but he just went to his head. So yeah, those are the umpires I really don't care for. The umpire that's out there to bullshit with people. You shouldn't be bullshitting. Nobody should be your friend. You should get out there, do your job, do it right, be consistent at it, and get the fuck off. That's it. Okay, I'm done. The umpires, more pay from SSUSA would help those guys tremendously. You get a lot more umpires jumping out there, or even taking umpire school to jump out there and do that shit. And don't give that shit about you don't like it, you can get out there and do it. I've done it, guys. I'm an ASA umpire. I went to the school and everything in Colorado. I've already done it. I guess that's why I'm just so anal with umpires. I don't want to talk about that today. I have a new t-shirt design coming out, guys. If you guys look down, if you're on YouTube, look down here. I got all my t-shirts and everything down there. I'm going to kind of straighten it up a little bit. I got 3 more designs coming out that are pretty badass that I'm going to start putting out. I'm going to concentrate more on my merch. Change address. I don't live. You guys sending me bats. I figured I'd do it instead of texting you guys. You guys sending me bats. I don't live at that address anymore. I will go by there periodically to kind of check up on things. Just make sure I'm not somebody's already moved into that house. I'm gonna give as many guys out there that do send me bats my new address. So if you guys are earshot of this or talking, and I have changed my address, so don't send me anything there anymore. I already talked about that. Somebody was asking me the other day about hot weather. I got this text message about hot weather having an effect on bats. The problem with that is we hit at 7 o'clock in the morning. That is going to change. We hit at 7 o'clock in the morning, and it's usually roughly around 82, 85 degrees at 7 in the morning here in San Antonio, Texas. And it warms up to be 92 when we leave. So that's kind of like what we go by. You know, we don't like getting out there at 95, 100 degree weather, picking up balls, because what we do is we don't pick them up. We actually, see my bag, got 7 bags of balls. We actually go out there, do one round through them, and we hit them all, and then we go out there with the cart and pick them all up, you know, which is a pain in the ass. But then again, I'd rather do that than walk out there, pick them up, bring them back, and expect to be fresh. That's another thing too. If you guys can afford it, don't do that. Don't run out there and get balls, bring them back, you know, because you're fatigued, you know. But the question that a lot of people have been asking me in the last couple of months is, does hot weather have effect on a barrel? Well, I'm going to test that. I'm going to do some testing on it. I'm going to get some packs of, what do they call it, that, you know, the stuff that you would, you know, at a game or anything to keep you kind of warm. I'm not talking about ice. I'm just talking about what'll keep you kind of warm around your neck. Kind of soak that and put it around the barrel in between us hitting it and see if there's any effect to it. You know, carbon, the deal about carbon is, and you guys need to listen to this, the deal about carbon is heat or coldness does not affect it. You know, and it's really weird because the few things that do affect it is seawater affects carbon over time, but it takes a long time to degrade. So what happens, it's the rosin that it affects, you know. Are you hitting a bat that's cold, you know, because of the rosin, and you're taking it out and hitting hot-ass balls with it? Or are you taking a bat that's hot, you know, doesn't matter what the rosin does, you know, which I think would be a little bit better on breaking a bat in, is hitting it when it's hot. You know, 100 degree outside and just breaking it in with slow swings. So it's the rosin that has the effect on it. It's not the carbon. A lot of people it's not the carbon, it's not the Kevlar, it's actually the rosin they put in it. They put different kind of rosin in it to kind of mess with that, you know, to get it to flex a little better, or you know, they experiment. A lot of these new bat companies are doing this too, is they will experiment with different kind of product to try to get that trampoline effect a little bit better. So we're gonna do a little bit of researching that, because it's still getting into the, well, we had a cold front come in today, but it's still getting into the night. It was 95 when we were driving down from San Antonio to Port Aransas, where we're at, and kind of drove down here, and it was 95, and we're coming down here, and that cold front hits probably in the 70s, 75 right now. So yeah, when I get back on Tuesday, we're going to kind of test a lot of that stuff and kind of find out, you know. And one of my viewers actually talked to me about the wrap, you know, keeping it ice and wrap it around the barrel, you know, after we hit it and then test it again. You know, I'm gonna have a lot of bats left over after this year too. So somebody was asking about a 2-piece versus a 1-piece, guys. I'm gonna tell you guys this. I hear a lot of you guys talk about a 1-piece will outperform a 2-piece, and I have seen 2 pieces outperform 2 pieces. 2 pieces outperform 1 pieces. It doesn't matter to me. I can swing. I'm not that middle block guy where Trey was that way. Trey always believed in 2-piece bats. The Suncoast Diamond was his bat. He would always swing. He said, I can't swing it. I can't swing it. If you guys look at all behind the scenes videos from back in the day, he always said he couldn't because of that mental block. Well, guess what he's swinging now? He's, you know, because we talked to him long enough, you know, he's swinging a Wig Popper, which is a 1-piece. And he says, you guys got me to, you know, get off that 2-piece and go to a 1-piece only because the Wig Popper performed better for him. So I think it's more of a preference. I think it's more of a mind, you know, guys are just mentally blocked on it, like you can't do it. And I think, therefore I am, is one of the phrases that I throw out there a lot, you know. But I'm not even gonna read that. Anyway, I think that can be overcome. I think a 2-piece can outperform a 1-piece if you have different flexes in it. The barrel, the handle flexes a little bit more, because if you think about it, you know, on the new 2-pieces that are coming out now, that handle, I'm gonna just pull out this bat here too. This handle is thin all the way up into here, and then the barrel takes over. This is the new Onyx. Y'all guys have been asking me about that soft barrel bat. It's got a 17.82. This is that new Onyx, the first bat he's ever developed, I think, with that softer barrel. And I hit this the other day. It's not even out yet, guys. It's something that I myself am only hitting. Nobody else can hit it, because I'm a soft barrel guy. I'm that medium soft. I'm not that soft, but I'm that medium soft that I really do like. I think I get better performance on that. So whenever you talk about a 2-piece and a 1-piece, it's got a lot more to do with it than y'all guys think, because you have flexing in the handle is a little different. Because if you think about that compared to this, you know, is where, you know, look how thick that is all the way through there. So you can have different flex points in this bat here than you are this bat. So is that better or worse? You know, those are the things you actually have to look at when you're actually picking a bat. But I think if you can have a 2-piece, I'm getting too far into this, but you can have a 2-piece barrel with a hot ass barrel outperform a 1-piece with a medium barrel, with a regular barrel. So that's another thing too, you know, you got to look at. I can care less. You throw a hot performing bat, I'm that bat whore guy. I'm a bat whore. Listen to me, I'm not proud of it, but I'm a bat whore. I'll jump ship. I'll jump from it. If it's hot, you got it in front of me, and it's a 1-piece or a 2-piece, I'm gonna pick it up and swing it. I don't give a shit. So that's just me. I don't have that brain fog, that brain block where I'm just stuck on this one bat, you know. Oh, yeah, I did bring water. Best bat, just gonna say this. These are little things that I've heard in the last couple of weeks. What is the best bat for softballs? Spongy balls. Big end load, 1 ounce end load, softer barrel. What's the best bat for harder balls? You know, your stadium ball, 600 core, you know, 52s, 53, 600s. What is the best bat for that? Well, it's a harder barrel bat. So when you guys get out there bombing, you know, it really doesn't, that's another thing too. It's like almost, it's not false advertisement, it's misleading the public. When you have a guy out there hitting 600s and he's blasting, those 600 compression balls, you know, they're usually a harder barrel, big end load, but a harder barrel. everything's big and low. I preach this for 14 years. Everything's big and low if you want to get more distance, you know. Like I said, you know, it's the harder the ball, the harder the barrel. The softer the ball, softer the barrel with big and low. Big and low on both of them going to actually help you perform when it comes to distance. Hitting the ball a long ways, and everybody loves to hit the ball long ways, including me. Back in the day, not so much right now, but back in the day, I loved to hit the ball really far. And I'm one of those aluminum bat guys. So I swung the aluminum bat. You know, I talked about this. There's a little saying I got out here. I think, therefore I am. And I think that's true. And there's this little, it's on my phone and I can't bring it up. And somebody had posted the other day, I did a screenshot on it because I was going to save it, is I think, therefore I am. And I want to do a different video on this on my membership channel. I'm kind of going to length about it, but I can't right now. And guys, when you're playing ball, and when you're playing ball, you have to think, you know. And there's another thing about this too, is I wouldn't verbally do this, and I do think this, but I wouldn't verbally do this. You have to think that you're the best guy on the field when you walk on the field. You have to think that. You cannot, and a lot of you guys are going to resonate with this. You're going to understand what I'm talking about. You have to walk on that field and think you're the baddest motherfucker that walked out there. You have to do this. I think, therefore I am, and you will not be successful in anything that you do. You don't actually have to be that asshole out there that talks about it, because that's a really turn off to me when you talk about that shit, because I've actually, hopefully that'll go off, but you have to be a great athlete. You got to walk out there and you have to walk with that swag, you know, like this ain't shit. You have to think that you're going to carry that batting average up in the 900s. You've got to think that, well, you got to get out there and play. You got to, like with me, it was pitching. I thought nobody could hit me. I would walk out on the field and thinking nobody would hit me, because you'll be more successful thinking that than you would be doing the opposite. If you think you were the low man on the totem pole when you walked out there, you're gonna shit, dude. You're not gonna be as successful in your career. And I want to get in a long ass video when I'm talking about this, but getting your mindset on when you start playing softball. A lot of you AA and AAA guys, a lot of you major plus guys gonna know what I'm talking about, right? Because you gotta have that swag. You gotta have that little walk. You gotta get out there. You don't have to fucking open your mouth and talk about it. But mentally, you know, like Muhammad Ali said it one day too. I always thought I was the greatest, although he you know, and he wound up being, talking about early in his career, he always thought, you know, I think, therefore I am. And that actually resonates a lot better with people out there. And it actually, you'll achieve more by the opposite of doing that, walking out there and having that low self-esteem, that low confidence. And you're not going to succeed if you go out there and do that. But that was just one of the, and I'll post it on my Facebook page tonight. I actually got it, and I'll post it. And actually the saying was pretty badass, and it goes by what we've always thought. Bubba thinks that a lot of the guys that actually hit with me, we talk about this too behind the scenes, about you got to carry that swag. You don't have to open your mouth and talk about how great you are, because that's a big, okay, you're trying to hide something there, in my opinion. If you talk about how good you are, trying to let other people think about how great you are, or listen to how you talk. And a lot of people don't like hearing that shit, me especially, you know. And usually when they talk about it, they're really not. I think that, though. I'll be the first one. If you ask me, I say I always walk out on the field every game that I play thinking I'm going to out-hit everybody. And you also need that push, too. I did a video about this years ago. So you need that guy that you're going to pick out. During the day, it was different guys on the team. I always wanted to play with a team with the best hitter, you know, because I wanted him to challenge me. I wouldn't talk to him about this till years later, but I wanted to play against him. I want to play with him where he's on the same team, because that was my goal. I wanted to beat him in batting average, and I focused a lot because that's just the way I think a lot of athletes out there need to think. I'm looking at the time. No way we've been into this an hour already. There's no way. Fuck it. One thing I will tell you, and I talked to a couple of people about this the other day, and I keep on hearing, some guy popped off the other day when we were doing a podcast. We were doing a hitting podcast last week. Somebody talked about, why are we watching 80-year-old guys hit pop-ups? And it kind of pissed me off, kind of lit a fire into me a little bit when I was hitting the last week's podcast. And you can notice I was hitting more line drives, and I kept on saying the guy's name is, how's that for you? How's that for you? Because it lit a fire. I get mad when people fucking say that. And it's usually the kids that say that shit. The 40-year-olds that start talking shit, you know, put somebody in there with my bat speed. Well, what is your fucking bat speed? You know, this ain't all about you, bitch. So I was hitting just lasers, you know, in that one we were hitting do Facebook Live last week when we were hitting all them new bats. And I said, how's that one for you? How's that one for you? You know? And what I was getting to is, you know, we're out here to, you know, we're out here to do this for a lot of you guys out there that have that, because as you get older, I don't give a shit what you take, what you do. And I think it's every 5 years after the age of 50 that your strength and your bat speed drop down quite a bit. Doesn't matter if you're on TRT, you're still going to lose a little bit of bat speed. Even if you're on nutrients, hormones or whatever, you know, TRT, you know, I'm not going to have the bat speed I had at 63, what I am right now. I'm not going to have that same bat speed I had at 50, because my bat speed at 50 was tremendous, and I don't have that one. And then it started losing about 55. I started losing a little bit more at 60. I lost a little bit more, and, you know, I can't do the things that I did back then because your body starts to break down. It's been breaking down from all this wear and tear that I've been doing all my life for playing softball and working and stuff like that. So you do lose a lot of that stuff. I think what our focus when we're doing this here is not for you. It's not all about you. You know, you're 40-year-old guys that have that 100-mile-an-hour bat speed that can pick up anything. And somebody did a video the other day about, well, let's see if I can hit it out with a broomstick, or let's see if I can hit it out with a 2x4. It's a saying. It's not saying you can actually fucking do it. It's a saying, meaning that you have tremendous and you're strong, tremendous bat speed, and you can hit it out with anything. And that's basically what a lot of people say when they call you out on that shit, is you can hit it out with anything. You can hit it out with a fucking aluminum bat. So, you know, what I'm saying is, we're not here to benefit you 100-mile-an-hour guys. I'm sorry, man. You can pick it up with anything, not like he proved the other day, not with a 2x4, you know, or 4x4 that's been carved out or whatever. No, probably a wooden bat. Yeah, you can. You can hit it out with a fucking wooden bat. That's the better saying. So from now on, let's not throw broomstick out there, because it's just a saying and people try to take it literally. You know, we're basically telling you that we're not out here for you. A lot of those guys that do the videos aren't out here for you. We're for the guys who diminishing bat speed, the AA, AAA guys. You know, because you get your shit for free. Your major plus player guys, you get your shit for free. You know, we're out here for the AA and AAA guys. I just wanted to point that out to a lot of you guys out there. It's just, as you get older, you do diminish tremendous not tremendous, but you know, a couple, 3 miles an hour, probably every year, I would think. You know, a couple miles an hour every year. Age group. Bro science. Somebody talked to me the other day about that. We're trying to explain to them what bro science is. Bro science is something that I've heard for years, and basically what it is, it's put in front of you on paper. You know, put in front of you on paper. You read it, you understand it, you say, hey, that's probably makes sense, you know, common sense or whatever, or the science of it, right? Or the actual physics of it. And then what you do is you take that out and you do bro science, which is you actually try to do it, you know, and see if it works. That's what I call bro science. Actually, it's like when they used to do it about lifting weights back in the days. They hear about what's the best way to lift weights and the angles and the grips and all this other shit. So shit, you don't want to do, I want to take this information that I got, and you're going to take it in the gym and you're going to start pressing the closed grip bench and stuff like that to see if it actually will develop big triceps and less tit weight and actually help with your bat swing. So those are the things that when we talk about bro science, we hear the science of it. Now let's go do the bro science of it to see if it actually will work for my swing. We hear what you got to say, but that's basically what we say about when we talk about the bro science part. I don't even know what that all ink it in. One supplement I'm going to talk about, then I'll talk about bats. Actually, two things about bats. One of them is, I did a video about Dudley today. I actually had me swinging one of the new Dudleys. I'm going to talk about it here in a minute. And automatically, people started texting me and asking me, where did I buy the bat? Guys, I don't know where you buy any bat other than what's on my website. You go to my website, I have discount codes all over my website. You go to my website, www.seniorsoftballbatreviews.com. All on that front top page, you're gonna see a round circle. It's got websites. You just click in the middle of it, and it's got a discount code right underneath. I even have a discount code for my merch, my t-shirts. So if you're interested, that light's going out. If you're interested in any of that stuff, go up there. I'm working on a Dudley discount code, and their information would be up on my website too, but I was talking to the Dudley's guys. I was talking to Tim, actually, in Vegas, and he's gonna set me up with a discount code. That way it's easier for you guys to go up on my website, and you can push in the code. You can get whatever you want to off of their website. So you push on it, go straight to their website. But Dudley, guys, from what I heard last, they sold out. And I think their next order is not for a while, from what I heard, especially on the Masteries. Correct me if I'm wrong here, if Michael's watching this, I think the Masteries won't be out till December, which is a very good bet. I'm not going to talk about it till later, but here, let me talk about a supplement I want you guys to get on. Especially if you're not taking TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, because what's going to happen if you don't take T and you're going down in age, you're going older in age. What happens is you're going down in T, and estrogen level is not going to go down with your T level, so your estrogen is going to be a little higher. Estrogen is a good thing in small amounts for men. You don't want to get rid of. You don't want an estrogen blocker to get rid of all of your estrogen. I think estrogen as in higher percentages in your body, higher amounts of your body is bad for men. And I think it's bad for women too. So what a lot of women get on is estrogen blockers, and you don't want to get rid of all the estrogen. And what I take, which actually is very good for estrogen, you can buy it over the counter, and it actually lowers it, and it's called DIM. And this one's DIM, DIM 200. So that's what and you guys, I'm not promoting these people. This is just the one that I take. Just go and get a pharmaceutical grade or a heavy grade, a really good grade, somebody that's out there, that's been out there. Yes, there's somebody that's been out there that actually has a supplement company that you have confidence in, and get on DIM. Here's another thing too. I'm not going to tell you what it's made out of. This is for research for you guys to get on. It will lower your estrogen. So guys, I think a lot of you guys that don't want to take that leap and taking a shot or taking the cream for your TRT, because I still take this, I have it with me and I'm on TRT, I take the shot, okay? If you're not going to get on that, you definitely need to get on DEM, right? It lowers estrogen. It's been known to lower estrogen, not by a lot, but it lowers that estrogen levels in your body, so you're not getting moody. You're not getting fat in places you don't want fat. So basically that's it. Let me talk about bats. I'm running along here. I only have a few, and I want to talk about them. Talk about not in length, but I want to explain, kind of go through it a little fast. First one, Dudley Doom. Yeah, I've talked about this one last couple of weeks. This is the balance model. It's got 16.5 on the end, 9.9 on the hands. You can see the numbers right there. We're almost done with it. By next week, we'll be done with this review on this bat. I haven't made up my mind about it yet. What do you guys, I was going to pull it out right now, but I'm not going to. I'm going to go down the line on the ones we're almost done with. This is the Sin City. I did a teaser review on this one last week, and we're going to be hitting this one this next week. This bat just opened up. It's going to take a while to get there, guys. I see guys on video, and they're out there getting 50, 60. The bat is hot already. No, it's not. You got to hit it a little bit to get it there. It took us about 125 swings to actually get it where it started changing sounds and then start loosening up. But guys, it's not a bad bat. It just takes a little bit longer to get there than what they're saying. Very good bat, I think. Very good bat. We all think. When I say I, guys, you know that. When I say I mean we all do. This is the 50 cal. Another one with this one too. 250 swings to get this bat to open up. I do not think it's like the old 50 cal. Clem does not. This is Clem's. Clem does not think it's like the old 50 cal. We think it's a little different. I will let you guys know in the review on what we think about it. This review will be out by next week too. Oh man, I don't want to get those good ones in here yet. God dang it, dude. What the hell? All right. No, I don't want to talk about this one. Proton. This is the hot butter. This is the two-piece senior bat. We're going to start hitting this one. We're going to start hitting this one. It's my wife texting me. We're going to start hitting this. Well, actually, we started hitting it about 2 weeks ago. Going to get it where it's broken. One thing you got to understand about a lot of these bats and the way we do our reviews is we don't talk really much about them. We'll give you kind of like what we think about them at the beginning if they're getting there fast. But usually around Proton is they hit different tiers. 100, 150, 200, I think I said in the past. At 300, they're ready to go at 300. They hit a totally different gear at 300, and we haven't got to 300 on this. So you're not going to see, you're going to see us hitting into behind the scenes, but you're not going to see anything good reviews on this. We might put a teaser out on it next week because I was cutting a video today, and I got a lot of good teasers on this about on this bat. It's called the Proton. I know you guys are looking at this backwards. It's the Proton hot butter. Bat's hot too. And another thing too is a lot of you guys were asking me about the balance points. When we do this review, we pick the heaviest end weight on the bats because that's what we usually swing is big end weights. This one is a 26.5, and it's got a, and I don't know, here's the deal. I don't know if I wrote that it's a 27 with 26.5, I don't know if that's a 26.5. It's a 1 ounce end load, 17.95 on the hands, 17. The one thing I will say is that I'm realizing is if you go to, and Carlos is actually doing this too, is you find out if you go too light in the hands, you lose control. So there's a number, I know what it is, but I'm not gonna say anything. And a lot of guys are asking me what the numbers are, bat manufacturers. I go, I'll tell you what the numbers are, but you gotta get on my membership channel because I'm not gonna give you the shit for free anymore. You know, everything's done on my membership channel. You want to know how to build a bat, go to my membership channel and join that shit. I'll tell you how to build a bat in there. But anyway, this is the two-piece Proton. And I actually don't think that 9.5, that 17 end load is actually a 1 ounce end load. It's more like a 1/2 ounce, 3/4 ounce end load. A little bit more than a 1/2 ounce end load. And again, I know those numbers and a lot of guys out there just now, guys, when I say a lot of guys, I'm talking about bat manufacturers out there still realizing those numbers. This one is a 16, 8, 9, 3 on the hands. I'm not even gonna tell you that, but we're just working on this. We're just now getting these bats where they're gonna open up. That and the hot butter bat too. So I like what it's doing. I like the way it's performing. Ooh, I'm not gonna talk about that one yet. Man. One thing I do, and I don't want to show this bat yet, is I give bat manufacturers the benefit of the doubt, okay, on what's going on. If I get a product from a bat manufacturer. When I get a product from a bat manufacturer, I give them chances, right? And usually a lot of I've seen Fat Guy BP chime in too. He does the same thing, I hope he does, but he gives the benefit of the doubt on they just don't go off flying and rip on a bat company or go on how great it is. They actually do a lot of research in it. And I'll give a company the benefit of the doubt on a bat up to a point. And then I know you guys need information on it because I know what they're doing. They're usually throwing the bat out there for me to talk about it, and or Fat Guy VP or Chef if he talks about it, you know, bat flip guys, if they talk about it, it's free advertising for them. So I usually don't put shit out there until I really know, and I don't want you guys to jump on just by hearing us first impressions, because that bat could crack within 100 swings. And you saw the 50 swings that we got out of it, you know, and then I have to go back and say what's going on with this bat. You know, they'll send me another one and it'll crack within 50 swings. So, you know, kind of hold off on you guys that want to buy these bats. What happens to a lot of guys out there is a lot of guys have just money to burn and they want the newest, best thing out, so they'll start just buying brand new, without even testing them, buying brand new bats that come out, and you should hold off a little bit to see what all these bat review guys out there and what they have to say about them, and kind of look at and do your research and talk to a lot of people before you start throwing $225 to $300 on a freaking bat out there and find out that you know, and then you guys get mad at us for, you know, we're putting out a teaser video and we don't have a teaser. Videos are what they are. They're teaser videos, you know. That's how come I'm not going to talk about that bat, because I text the people and I say, what's going on with this bat? Because we've already got some swings on it and the paint chipping all over it. And is this going to be your production model? Because if that paint chip comes off that 1.21 BPF, Umpire's going to throw it out of the game. So why are you going to buy a bat that's got paint chips all over it? You know, and then they're telling me, you know, you know, we're working on it. We're working on it, you know, and I do have a couple of these, but I don't want to talk about them because, you know, I don't want you guys going out there and buying something that really don't, it's going to be a flaw later on. And the bat is hot as shit, you know, it's pretty damn good. But I'm going to talk about all the other things that actually we've gone to that next step, and things that I can, that hit that next tier, I should say, that is past the grade, and talk about them from now on what we got. But if I'll tell you this, by my next podcast, which is next Friday, if they haven't talked to me about this bat that I just threw over to the side, I'm going to tell you guys no, you know, because that's what we're here to do, is good or bad. We're here to tell you, hey, you know, this bat's hot as shit, and it was hot as shit, but we're just not getting longevity out of it. But what I want to do is talk about, you know, all these other bats that I have come up and kind of go into detail, and I just don't know which one to pick. Well, I'll pick from this one. This is the Louisville Robo 17. Guys, I'm just going to go by first experience, and I'm going to tell you guys, if you do want to jump and buy one of these bats, make sure your bat speed's 95, 100 miles an hour. This barrel is hard as a rock, and flex in it's a little hard. It takes a little while to get there. It makes a ceramic sound. You guys can hear behind the scenes videos. It takes a ceramic sound. It sounds like a ceramic sound when you're hitting it. That's that new TPS from Louisville. And numbers on it look pretty good. It's got a 16. This is a 27 ounce. It's got a 16.9, and it's got 9.2 on the hands. Right there, but it makes it, you know, Bubba swinging it, you know, Mark Reed swinging it with that 95, 100 mile an hour bat speed, killing it with this bat. So a lot of you guys that are that bat speed in your 70s, you're going to hate that bat. That wall does not feel like it's actually doing anything. It's not loosening up, because a lot of these bats I'm going to show you here, when the barrel of that wall loosens up, you can feel it. The Proton ball, the barrel loosens up for us. I'm getting caught now. I'm going to just grab whatever I can grab now. There's a video went up today about this bat. I love this bat. Onyx Teal, enough said. It's a 13.5 inch barrel. It's probably one of the best 13.5 inch barrels I have ever swung. It is badass. And I don't swing a 13.5 inch barrel. I don't think they carry their weight. It's got to be the flex points. It's got to be the barrel. The barrel's, it's not like any other Onyx bat out there. Like, I kind of fucked Carlos a little bit in Vegas when guys grabbed me around the table and said, can you let me know on this table what's the best Onyx bat? And I grabbed this one and the gray one. He didn't have the white one there because I have that. I grabbed this one and the gray one. I moved them to one side and I moved all the other ones to the other side. And these two right here are better than those. And Carl's like, damn, you know, and I'm like, well, shit, dude, you're asking me. You know, I don't know if your sales went down on this, on the other ones, but this is it's not a barrel like the other barrels, the gray one and this one. The gray's a 12 inch. This one is a 13.5. Different barrel, guys. Chino got one. Mark Reeves got one. Bubba got one of these. Bubba got the 12-inch gray one, and we're going to start hitting these next week. And this review is going to be fast. This review is going to be fast. Let me throw that over there, make sure I'm packing. I don't have the gray one with me. Bubba has the gray one. But the gray one, too, you guys are going to watch the video on that gray one. We did crack a gray one. We got 625 swings on it with me, Bubba, everybody in my group swinging it, and we did it in 2 days. We actually abused that bat. And I think I told you guys, what we did. We wanted to get a teaser video because I did like that bat. I wouldn't have done it if I didn't like the bat. So I wanted to get a teaser video out on that bat. And I got the guys together on Monday and Tuesday, and we flew out on Wednesday morning to Vegas. And I wanted to put a video together. And we hit that bat in 2 days, didn't give it time to rest. We didn't let it breathe, which I say breathing. It cooled down is what I mean by breathing. And breathing is just a saying. It's not that the bat is breathing. I just want to make sure you guys know that. Not giving it time to relax. And we hit the shit out of it round after round, and we only had two. You know, only had one of each. Like, we had one of the gray ones and one of the teal ones, and I got the white one. And I didn't let the guys hit the white one too much. So what I did was, and my wife's coming in. What I did was, and gray one we cracked. I think we got 500, 600 swings on it, and then it cracked, which I kind of knew it would. I went back and I looked at the video, and I'm like, damn, you know, we didn't let that bat rest. But we got great video out of it. So 600 swings out of us, I think that's freaking awesome. This one, and the actual gray one looks like this. The only problem is the barrel's a little different. I like the gray one. I like this one, you know. And another thing too is you guys got to look at what the production model on what we're going to. It's got a softer barrel in it. The hand flex is about the same. It's got a 17-ounce end load and 8.3 on the hands. This is a 26-ounce. So you have great end load. You have less hand weight. What I think Carlos did here, and just by weighing him, I think what he did was he went higher on his hand weight. He changed the barrel and he went higher on his hand weight, which you get a little bit better control. And I do have better control off the white one than I did his old previous 7.3, 7.5 on the hands. So I think what he's getting the formula right. So higher hand weight, and I've said this in the past. Me and Clem actually found this out a few years ago, hitting, and we were in the outfield, and we're talking, kind of brainstorming with each other, and Clem had asked me a question. I said, man, I see that, you know, with the Onyx bats, is you go higher in the hand weight, you get better, you get more consistency, you get better hitting. So basically, that's what we expect. But guys, just wait till the production model comes out and we swing this. This is not a production model. I'll tell you guys right now, it's not. I've got a couple of these. I want to swing them. I want to swing them because I do like the bat. I do like the way the bat performs. And I do love the flex in this bat. But just hold off and let us swing this bat. This is the Wig Popper And what we're getting, this is the new Wig Popper. Remember when I talked to you guys about, when I talk about tweaking or when I talk about tuning, you know, a lot of you bat manufacturers do this. So what they do is they actually they went up to the end on this. So you're actually getting a better, you know, you're getting the weight moved out to the end a little bit more. And they changed the code on it, which actually might be the reason why you're getting that. I don't care about this, guys. Long as it keeps that on it, I really don't care about this. As long as it's not peeling all the way up through here. This is the 16986 on the hands. This is the new Wig Popper. We've got some swings on it. But again, we're gonna wait. Everything looks good on this new Wig Popper, but they did tune it a little bit. I'm just gonna say tune it. What next? Alan Tanner. 13.5-inch barrel. This is his new bat right here. It's supposed to be a gamer technology. It's all that new stuff. Different than his last year's model. But what Worth Miken has done here on their bats is their bats are built different than anybody else's bats out there. The barrel's built different than any barrel out there. I will say this about, you know, a lot of the Miken and Worth brand, now the Worth, because we hit this one the other day, is a lot of Miken brands they have technology that nobody else has had or is going to have, or no, I can't say going because somebody will find out what they did and actually start producing their shit because that's the way this bat manufacturers work. So, what they are with the Worth and with the Miken, softness of the barrel, still get that trampoline effect. We've only started swinging this bat, and what we got was a lot of you guys are hitting this bat right off the bat and talking about how great it's performing. We haven't got that yet because we didn't get that with the Johnny Bailey. Like they're talking about this gamer ready technology. So we haven't got that yet with this bat, and we didn't get it yet with the Mike Deal. We didn't get it with the Big Cat, and we didn't get it with Johnny Bailey. Actually, if you remember the video I did on those bats, it's actually like I thought that, oh shit, what did they do different that made this bat suck so much? And then all of a sudden, the Johnny Bailey started to loosen it up. All of a sudden, the Big Cat started to loosen up about 125 swings, guys. We've only got 30 swings on this bat because we have all these other bats we're in front of it. So the guys picked it up and just swung it, you know, and it's sounding the same as those other bats, you know. And I'm gonna tell you they're talking about like last year's bat, the way this bat was last year. The one thing that Alan did with last year's bat, he didn't do with this bat, is your handle weight. This is a 27 ounce. It's got a 16.7 on the end. Well, if I can remember correctly, is a 27 ounce teal and orange one from last year. Had a 16.8, 16.9 on the end. But what he did was, it's got a 9.7 on the hands. If you guys remember, that one from last year had like 8.9, had a 9 on the hands. So he added 0.7 of an ounce to the hands. Will that affect performance? Yes, it will. When you're taking 0.7 of an ounce and you're adding it on your hands, you're changing your balance points of what it was last year down to here. So that's gonna less stress on the barrel, less in weight, you know. But we'll see on what it does. It's got to have a tremendous barrel for it to take up for that 0.7 of an ounce to actually get it there. I'll talk about that tremendous barrel in a minute when I talk about another bat. And I'll actually walk right into that right now. So when you put more handle weight on, you've got to have tremendous flex. You've got to have great flex in that barrel. Barrel's got to be built really good to affect that, not having that mass on the end. Up to a point. You know, so you get up to a point and you're going to have that mass to get a little bit more better performance, a little bit more performance. But we're still working on that bat. I'm not saying anything bad about the bat. The bat's not a bad bat, but I'm not saying anything about it. Now I'm going to talk about this bat, okay? The one-piece Suncoast Reloaded. You can see it right here. It's just one piece, and I know you guys seen that backwards, but it's that one-piece Suncoast Reloaded. Look at your bat. weight numbers. And I want to say this is a 26.5. It's got 16.5 on the end. And then you got 10.4 on the hands. 10.4, guys, on the hands. So when you pick this bat up and you go like that, it's got some weight there. What that does is, that's more of a balanced bat, okay? But this bat does not perform like a balanced bat. This bat has got a better performance than the last year's Reloaded. Remember the one that was, shit, it was a different color, but it was last year's Miken, last year's Suncoast Melee Reloaded. I did a review on it. I think it was red, maybe, or some other kind of orange. This is more of a different color orange. It was orange and blue. This one's orange and black, I think. The lighting in here sucks, so I don't know. But this is the new one, right? The flex points are the flex points. The end weight and handle weight are pretty much the same. But this is not the same bat. This one's got a little bit better barrel. I think when they talked about on this bat, I can't see anything about the end, but when they talked about tuning, you know, we talked about that too in a couple other videos. Talked about tuning the bat. What they did with this wall on this bat is they just moved it a little bit to make it where it's a little bit better performing. And they can do that because they have less end weight. So they can make that barrel a little bit better performing without making it crack. So there's that fine line in there. If you put too much mass on the end, too less handle weight, puts a lot of stress on the barrel, you're not gonna get longevity out of it. So what they did here is they built that barrel pretty fat, pretty badass. It does perform. If you guys watch the behind the scenes videos of us swinging it and watch the performance we got on that, you know, baseball field, you know, where the wind was blowing in, this bat was keeping up with the unloads. So I can't wait till this bat gets a few more hits into it. Let me go to this one. This is the Anarchy, and this is the Gas. It's got a little bit of paint chip going on. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's got a little bit of paint chip going on it. Don't really give a shit about paint chips. Like I said, as long as it doesn't remove the 1.21 BPF or it doesn't remove the decal on that one right there. It doesn't remove that decal on the bat manufacturer. Like if it's the stamp, the SSUSA stamp for senior softball. I like, this is a 25.6. I think it's a 26 ounce. It's got 16.8 on the end, and it's got 8.6 on the hands. 8.6 on the hands. And you can, bat swings very well. Bat swings really good. I like the way this bat is built. You can tell it's thin all the way up into where the barrel actually connects. This is a 12-inch barrel. That's going to be last. This one is the Megaload. Now what we have here is, it is a Megaload. This bat has, it's an actual 26.5. That other one was 27.5. That last Suncoast was 27.5, but I gave you the numbers off that one anyway. This one is a 26.5, total weight's 26. It got a 17 ounce end load. And you see that hand weight? 8 off the hands, guys. That's an ounce and, well, maybe an ounce and a half. Ounce and a half less on the hands than the other Suncoast. So that's why it's called the Megaload. It swings like a big sledge effect. That's a 1 ounce end load. Close to a 1 ounce end load. I actually think it's, yeah, it's close to a 1 ounce end load. When you have 8 on the hands, you're still going to get that smooth swing. You're going to get that consistency, right? Because when you go under the 8.5s, I don't want to get too far into that. If you want to get under the 8.5s, you start losing a little bit of control, better distance. So you got to find an equal medium in there. You want to be the guy that hits the longest home run. You want to be the guy that has the 800-900 batting average, plus hitting a few home runs really far. Wind's blowing in, be a great bat for you. Hitting shitty balls, be a great bat for you. But I think not this one, but like the lower hand weight guys. But what they're doing is, and I think Suncoast has put out some good bats this year, actually. And getting this bat broke in. We only got probably around 75, 80 swings on this bat. But look at the numbers, 8-8, 17. I love the numbers of that bat. Okay. This is a 12-inch barrel, one piece, retro, redo, not a redo, it's a retro from the Miken, from the Dudleys, been talking too long. The Dudley Lightning, it's a one piece, 12-inch barrel, same colors as the 13-inch from the OGs from back in the day. It is a little different than that bat. I didn't bring one with me. It is a little thicker through this area than the OG, you know, which is kind of a big concern, you know, on your flex points, because when you get you too thick up in this area, it actually changes your flex points in your handle. But a lot of you guys are asking me, is this bat just like the Bobby Nifong? Is it like the Party Time? Is it like the Masteries? I actually think the Masteries was different than the Party Time and the Bobby Nifong. If they did tune it a little bit, where it would make that effect, where they didn't want to make all those bats on the same machine and just start putting numbers and weighting them differently. They're telling me, the guy from the place was telling me that what he wanted to do was the same balance points that those OGs were back in the day. That's what he was looking for. And he almost did that. I mean, because I remember those balance points with those bats. I swung a 20 on the white. I swung the red knob back in the day, so I knew what those. This is a 27 ounce. You've got 17 ounce end load, and then you've got 9.3 on the hands. Right, 9.3 on the hands. Basically, what that 27 ounce was back in the day was a 9.5. So you're getting pretty close to those numbers. But I'm a guy, you know, when you're talking about grams, I'm really concerned. I can tell, Billy can tell, Bubba can tell, a lot of my guys can tell if it's off 2/10 of an ounce, we can tell. Like, we can feel that, you know, either being on the hands or being on the end. So yeah, I did a video about this bat today. I put it on Facebook if you guys saw it. Wind's blowing in, hitting on a baseball field, and I hit it out with this bat. Pulled one down the line and I hit it out. It makes a different sound than the other Dudleys, the newer Dudleys that was out. I said something today that I wanted to correct. I said this is not like the old ones. What I was talking about, it's not like the OGs, because you can't make a bat like that anymore. So if you see this bat, want to buy it, think it's one of those OGs. It's not. You'll never get a bat that will perform like that. They won't. They're not making those bats anymore. They will not make those bats anymore. So you need to put all that shit behind you. What they have here is a little bit harder barrel. The best way I can explain it, it's got a little bit harder barrel. It has different flex points in it. So when you're not going to go from that bat to this bat, expect to get the same balance points, because it's not going to have. It's got too much weight in this area. What I would do is, you know, if you're going to retro into that, you're going to go, not retro, if you're going to go right into that, you've got to find your balance points of the bat you're swinging back in the day and try to find one, you know, that your flex point's going to be the same in the handles. So, but very good bat. And a lot of you guys are asking me about this bat on where can I buy one. I have no idea, guys. I don't have Dudley's website. You'd have to talk to a Dudley rep. Get on one of these Facebook, you know, sites, not really, you know, that talk about bats, or Dudley has one out there too. A lot of reps have them out there. Talk to them on where you can get these actually produced or made. This bat, I got calls from Fat Guy BP, and there was a couple other people I got calls from that were talking to me about this bat. This bat is, they don't, it's a new bat company out there. And I was asked, God dang it, I was asked about the balance points, you know, where they, and I'll tell you, this is I want to say a 20. I already taped it up, so I really can't tell you. This is what happened. They actually ran out of 27s. So I was trying to get a 27. I couldn't find a 27, so I ordered one off the site. $250. I bought it. It got sent to me. So I was really afraid, because 26 ounce what the balance points were going to be. Well, what I liked is when I did the balance points on it, This has got a 17 ounce end load on a 26 ounce. So if you guys, you know, might want to go down a little bit if they have one that's lower. And it's got 8.8 on the hands. And I don't have it written down, but I remember when I weighed it. So it's got 8.8 on the hands, which is a great number. It's got 17 ounce on the end. On a 26 ounce, those are great numbers on the end, or even for the balance points. This has got a 13-inch barrel. If you look at it, you know, a lot of people are saying that, it's like the Dudleys. It swings like the Dudleys. It's almost like the Dudleys. You know, it was made in the same spot in the Dudleys, but I don't know, guys. If you set them next to each other, you know, I'd have to go into measuring. You know, it almost looks like it's a little bit thicker. It's a little bit thicker in here than the Dudley is. You know, I have to get a mic on it to actually tell you guys about it. But I actually know it's thicker. You know, it's thicker in the one over here than it is that one. So it wasn't made on that same machine, was my thought process. And the sound. Because if you guys look at Fat Guy BP, they got them hitting this bat. And I think it's got a little bit of a wall behind it, but you can hear that sound of that bat, and it just like it explodes when you hit it. Anonymous is the name. I know you guys are looking at that backwards, but it's Anonymous. It's Anonymous Glove Company. I know he's on there, probably still watching. He can actually talk about it. But I think they sold out of these. I don't know how many they made, but I think they sold out of them. That's it, guys. I am done. I know I've been on here for a while. I don't even have my watch in front of me. And I'll do another one of these next week. I want to do Facebook Live when I get back in town. I'm getting back into town either Monday night or Tuesday morning. And I want to hit a couple of times next week. Do a lot of Facebook Live now. Jump onto that YouTube channel. Be a subscriber if you want to get on the members channel. Be on that. I got a lot of good shit coming out. I got 2 bat giveaways coming out this weekend that I'm going to do in the next couple of days. 10 that I'm going to do in the next couple of days. And guys, don't be a dick. And be nice. Don't talk shit. And I'll see you guys next week on Facebook Live. Thanks, guys. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. I got a couple more here that I want you to take a look at. And if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button right down here below. And I also have a membership channel. It's that little join button that you have right down here. Click on it, and it actually has a small video in there that explains everything in the membership. Plus, it actually helps support what we do. Thanks, guys.